It's finally here. We finally have it. The R1 Shadowhunter, or just plainly put, the crossbow. The real question is, once you strip away the novelty factor, is it any good? Well, if you're looking for an opinion on that one, you've come to the right place. So let's get started on that. I'm just going to dive right in. I'm going to talk about the challenges for this one. Super easy. Super duper easy. I mean, the hardest one you're going to have to do is getting 3 kills with a single shot, which is no problem once this thing is pack-a-punched. Of course, you can only do it while it's pack-a-punched. Other than that, the rest of the challenges you'll get them done in no time flat. Didn't have any problems getting this weapon to Plague Diamond. It's a mixed feeling, and we're going to get into that one a little bit about how I feel about this weapon, because it's really, once those rose-colored glasses are taken off, this weapon leaves a lot to be desired. All right. Now, first, I want to start off with the negatives. I'm going to go right into this one. I'm going to talk about the negatives immediately. Like, I want to get these right out of the way, because I think that the crossbow, design-wise, is an utter failure. I definitely believe that the design team, the developers, like completely dropped the ball on this one. This was very anticipated for me, and having used it and gotten it to Plague Diamond, I don't think it's that great. I think this has more problems than benefits. And now this is entirely a novelty weapon. I will say that this is for novelty. This is for your shits and kicks. This is completely and utterly a sort of a joke weapon, like all the melee weapons. It's meant to just be there as a sort of, here's something goofy you can play around with. It's not meant to be competitive. Now, in the realm of competitive nature, in Outbreak, it's pretty good. It does a lot of damage. I mean, it kicks some tail up to about wave 5 when you start fighting heavy armored zombies. And then, of course, you have to get a headshot, but getting a headshot only knocks the head off and the rest of the body comes flailing after you. So, yet again, it's not super useful. In regular wave-based zombies, not is particularly good. I did not think this thing was very useful, because your one-hit kill potential dies off mega fast. And that is such a shame, because it's a crossbow. It should be fun to use, and it is fun to use, but that, as I said, that it's a novelty weapon. The novelty wears off pretty quickly. There's only 4 red dot optics to put on the weapon, and they're all close range, which means that this weapon was very much so designed to be a close range weapon. Close to, I'm going to barely say mid here, because the arc you have to get on the bolts is substantial at ranges. I mean, there's points where you can't even see what you're aiming at. And that leads me to my next point, is you can be aiming dead center of their forehead. You could be aiming at their chest and the bolts will still miss. I don't understand the deviation of this weapon. This weapon has incredibly strange bolt deviation. I don't know if that's I tried it when I was moving. I tried it standing stock still. I've tried the sights. I've tried the red dots. I've tried everything, and this thing is from the ground up poorly designed. I don't think that this was very well thought out. I mean, we look back to Modern Warfare, and that crossbow had all sorts of attachments, different bolt types, and it was a lot of fun to play with. Now, here we're only talking about zombies. This is the only place I want to talk about it. I'm not a huge fan of the multiplayer. In that regard, I will say unlocking the crossbow is really easy. You just need 3 one-shot kills in 15 matches. Just jump into hardcore. Just do some hardcore TDM. That's what we did yesterday. We jumped in. We goofed around. We barely even tried, and we managed to get the thing unlocked in, an hour or so. And, we played that initial match as you're seeing right now with the crossbow. And I had to play again today to make sure that it wasn't just the novelty factor wearing on me, so I can give you guys an accurate depiction of how I feel about it and its different handling characteristics. Now, another kind of very disappointing aspect is you know, this is not designed as a precision weapon under any circumstances. I actually think that the hip fire is more accurate than the aim down sight most of the time, and that leads me to a very disappointing, you know, notion that, you know, I got Deadshot Daiquiri and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna just like lay into these headshots. I'm gonna absolutely tear up headshots. Deadshot Daiquiri doesn't work for it because it's a special weapon. Because of its weapon categorization, you don't get the benefits of Deadshot Daiquiri, so you can't use this as a precision weapon. And after 20-30 minutes of playing with it, you know, I felt like I could get decent headshots, but because of that random bolt deviation, I give up on trying to go for headshots unless they're point blank. Like, it's so disappointing. You know, there's not even like a custom crossbow scope for it to help you take long range shots. They're like, here's iron sights or red dot. Like, the decision to make this weapon kind of closer range, it takes away from what I wanted to do, and that's do cool long range shots. And most of the time you're just walking your shots up to hit your target. That's about all you're doing. It's the crossbow, and in another vein, it feels like all of the weapons that are being added to this game are only in Cold War for the specific purpose of selling blueprints. Is the only reason it feels like the crossbows here is to sell fancy blueprints for $20 a pop. And that's what all the weapons feel like, is that they're only here. Like, the crossbow is a reminder that, like, you know, I'll cut the devs a little bit of slack. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, and this game's being developed during a pandemic. But come on. These are from established studios that know better. Modern Warfare did so many things right, and Cold War's doing so many things the complete opposite. And the crossbow, to me, is a clear example of pandering and money grubbing. Because its design, how it works, is just abysmal. It's abysmal. So what I think I was looking forward to and what a lot of people expected, this is not it. You know, this was a clear, we just put something out to put something out, and that's about it. But now, I don't want to end the video, and I don't want everyone to think that all I have to say is negative things about the crossbow. I do have a lot of negative things to say, but I want to talk about the positives. One of them being, this thing deals extremely consistent damage. Very consistent damage. I mean, there's no damage drop-off. And whether you're firing through one zombie, two zombies, or three zombies, it's going to do the same amount of damage. I mean, we fought the Soldat, and we were afraid that the Soldat was going to be hard to kill. No, because you're dealing consistent damage, we were able to kill the Soldat in no time. Now, early crossbow, not great against armor. Not great. Once you get it pack-a-punch, it's fine, but you're still going to want to try to headshot heavier armored zombies, but the damage is exceptional. And once you pack-a-punch it, you get the Lancelot, which, terrible pun. I mean, even for me, that's a bad one. But when you pack-a-punch it, you get an insane reload speed. And I mean an insane reload speed. And if you do speed cola with that, you can rip shots. You can rip shots. I mean, they take one of the weakest aspects of a weapon like the crossbow, which is, of course, you can only fire a bolt and reload every single time, and pretty much eliminate it. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do. I was deeply impressed with that one. Now, if you have, and I highly recommend this before attempting to go for the Plague Diamond and Dark Aether camo, get the upgrade for special weapons so that you can periodically pull shots from your stockpile and not from your magazine. Because there's been times when I've fired upwards to 5 shots with a crossbow and not actually had to reload. And when you're fighting like a special or an elite, you can destroy them. So that, in tandem with the crossbow, is amazing. It makes it an absolute devastating powerhouse. So, highly recommend that combo. And in that regard, it's a bloody crossbow. It's just fun to use. You know, for novelty fact, and thank goodness you only have to get it to level 35 to max it out. You don't need to play with it all that much. It's going to be a weapon that's going to be enjoyable for the time you use it. And if you're anything like me, I've got it to Plague Diamond. I'm never going to touch it again. Unless they completely change the weapon and give it a bunch of attachments, I'll never touch it again. But I enjoyed my time with it. You know, once you look past its faults, it's a fun weapon to use. And as I said, there's that novelty factor, you know, and like it is a novelty, but it's a fun novelty. It's like running around with the machete or the E-tool or anything like that. It's all for fun. And the crossbow, when you boil it down to its core component, and that's fun. It's meant to be a fun weapon. It's here for fun, and I think in zombies it really achieves that, because there's something about going full Daryl Dixon on people, you know, Walking Dead in it, and it's goofy, it's fun, you know. And once you take the realism factor out of it, once you get a Pack-a-Punch and you get perks and all that stuff, and you get your special ammos, it makes it insane. Like, the crossbow can actually get really good. And, you know, as I was saying, you know, with that high, when you can get that sort of high rate of fire, the whole lack of precision and the strange deviation gets dampened down a lot. You get a weapon that, like, now I can crank out 3 bolts in the time it was taking me to crank out, like, 1. So you gain a lot of benefits from that Pack-a-Punch. There's also the ability to recover crossbow bolts, which, of course, when you Pack-a-Punch this thing, you get like 90 bolts. Like, I didn't find myself even remotely close to running out of ammo with this thing. So it is a powerhouse in that regard. So if you're looking for something that can deal a lot of damage and is kind of self-sustaining, which is really interesting. Like, we were playing, and I never once had to go towards an ammo box. You know, I didn't have to do any of that. This thing sustains itself. You know, if you do have to remember to run over the bodies after you shoot them, which is something, of course, you have to train yourself to do, because I kept shooting them and then just running away, because I'm used to ballistic style weapons. So, you know, you don't run over them, pick up your lead from out of a dead person, you know, every time you shoot. So, you know, but it's fun. All in all, I think the crossbow is fun. I do believe that they should go through and add additional attachments. Now, I think the reason there is not additional bolt types is because it's a zombie balancing thing. I think it is balanced for zombies, because if you can have explosive crossbow bolts plus brain rot rounds or any of the special ammunitions, that would be really broken. It would be really broken. So I think that's why we don't have access to some of the special bolt types or really anything like that. I think it has a lot to do with zombie balancing, in my personal opinion. All in all, the crossbow is definitely worth unlocking. The challenge is easy enough. It's a organic challenge. Unlock the crossbow, go into zombies, and yuck it up. Go by yourself, get your friends, everybody take crossbows, and just have a good time. Go full medieval on them. I mean, have fun. You know, and really that's the most important factor, is having fun in video games. And I think the crossbow, when you look past its glaring issues, can be a lot of fun. And I mean, as I said, it's quick and easy. Getting it leveled up and getting it maxed out is super easy. It's a fun break from the normal weapons, because it's a crossbow. It's different. It's a little wacky. And I think it was a bit of a nice palate cleanser from the grind of working on the various just guns in the game. So unlock it, play with it, have fun. That's what matters. In my opinion, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. That 5 being the fact that it's a crossbow, and at the end of the day, it's fun to play with. And it also gets that score just because of poor design by the developers and what I believe to be huge oversights that could have made this an extremely fun weapon versus just a fun weapon. Anyways, thank you for stopping by the video. Next week, the new sniper rifle comes out, and we also get the sanatorium map, so come back for those videos because those are going to be fun. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, dislike, do your thing, and I hope to catch you in the next video.